Hi, my name is Nancy. I'm the trainer from Global Beauty Group, and I've got Lisa here with me who'll be having a RF radio frequency treatment on her face, and we'll also be doing a demonstration on her body as well. So first we'll start by turning our device on. So whether it's the UltraLux 4 or the SlimLux, it is the same interface and it's the same procedure as well. So what we've done first is we've done a double cleanse on Lisa's face to make sure that there's no residual makeup or moisturiser on the skin. We want everything to be removed. Once we've got our machine switched on, we will be applying glycerine when we're ready. So the best type would be just any form of glycerine. I think this is Walgreens. That's for your body. But for the face, we'll be using our Venus facial glycerine. That's a thick consistency to ensure that we're not getting any burns or grazes on the face. So my aim with RF treatment is to reach between 39 and 42 degrees for the face. That's our clinical endpoint. And for the body, we'll be trying to achieve between 42 and 45 degrees is our optimal temperature. Okay, so first of all, I need to connect my tip on. There are two tips. There's a 30mm tip for the body and there's a 15mm tip for the face. Because we'll be doing the face, we will first use our 15mm tip. To put that onto our handpiece, just take off your connector. And you'll find there's two holes which need to be screwed on in the correct manner. So they need to be placed first and then connect to your connector. Screw that on nice and tight. Make sure it doesn't spin. Right? If it spins, you're going to get zapping and your client's going to feel very uncomfortable. So make sure that it doesn't spin and tighten that. Right? So we'll use our body one later. So what we need to do is select our bipolar RF, bipolar radio frequency. The screen will be once again the same for your SlimLux and your UltraLux 4 and your V5 as well. So select your joules. Always start at 65 joules. And this is our depth of penetration. So this will vary depending on whether it's the face or the body and whether the person is actually a hot person or if they're quite cool. If they're quite cool, you'll need to go up, and if they're a hot person who experiences a lot of, say, maybe hot flushes, or if the environment is quite hot, then we'll need to drop it down. So first we'll start on the face, we'll start on 4, and then we'll press play. Before we do that, we'll set our timer so it beeps at us and tells us that we've reached, whether it's 10 minutes or 5 minutes. For the face, the whole entire face should take us roughly between 10 to 15 minutes, depending how quickly you can achieve 39 to 42 degrees. So let's set our timer. I'm going to divide the face, so we'll just move over to our face here. I'm going to divide the face in smaller portions rather than trying to achieve 39 degrees all around over the entire face. I'm going to first concentrate on Lisa's eyes, so that might take me between 3 to 5 minutes. It really shouldn't take more than 3 minutes. If we're nice and quick, 3 minutes is enough. So 3 minutes here, 3 minutes there. First time it might take you 5 minutes so you can work out what your starting point is to achieve 39 to 42 degrees. Then we'll spend another 3 minutes on the cheeks and then another 3 minutes either side where the gels are. No need to do the nose. Okay, so what we're going to do is set our timer by pressing this part of the screen, and we want to set it to 3 minutes, which is 180 seconds. Press the return key, and so that's showing us that there's 180 seconds on the clock. This is, one will go up, one will go down. This is how many seconds our machine has done, so you can ignore that for this demonstration. When we're ready, we'll press play, and as soon as we press our foot pedal, that's when my timer will start to time. But for now, I'm going to apply the gel on Lisa's face. So with our facial glycerine, our Venus facial glycerine, we're going to apply a large amount. Be sure not to double dip. be applying my handpiece is where the gel needs to be. So if you're trying to get the crow's feet, get a little bit closer. Applying enough gel ensures we don't get zapping and it's comfortable for the client. So earlier on I'd measured Lisa's face, I'd taken her temperature and it was 36 degrees, and the way you take your temperature is not by pointing and pressing the button. That won't give you a nice even overview of the skin. What you want to do is point and scan. And if you point and scan, it'll give you where the hot spots are and where the spots that need to be more heated are. So let's start our treatment. And before I press my foot pedal, I'm going to explore the troughs and the crevices of Lisa's face to ensure that I've got both positive and negative making contact with the skin. So first we'll start by gliding. Around here you need to manoeuvre the handpiece in the direction or in the actual position of the skin as well. So if we're going up, then you need to be positioning the handpiece up as well. And then we're going to draw like a bubble C. So down, my handpiece needs to go down as well. If I glide across, I'll lose contact and you'll get the zapping that clients will experience, which is not very nice. Going around, moving my handpiece up as well, and then back down again underneath the eye. And then in a C, bubble C motion, you just keep going around. Okay. When you come to apply the handpiece, do not apply it and stop. Apply and glide as soon as you have your handpiece on the skin. The moment you stop on a person's skin, they will jump and you could possibly graze them. Ready? 1, 2, 3, and my foot's down. Go around, no overlapping. How's that feeling? Warm? So after a few rounds, we're going to stop, take your pedal off and take your handpiece off whilst gliding. So let's measure. Got 37, 39 down the bottom, 37, 38 up the top. So the fact that I've got 39 here, 37 along the side of the face, and what do we say, 37 up there, tells me that I'm going too slow down the bottom. So I need to speed it up the top and move a bit slower on the side of the face and just keep it consistent up the top there. And again, 1, 2, 3. Go slow around there and a bit faster on the tube. Slow. And we'll measure again. 39, 37, 37, 38. And up the top, we've got our 38.8. So another 1 degree or so, and we've hit our clinical endpoint, and we need to keep that consistent. Just so you can see what I'm doing, this time I'm going to use my button. Okay? So 1, 2, 3. Tell me if it gets too hot. So now I'm starting to go a little bit faster because there is a bit of erythema present. And let's measure. 38, 39, 38.8, 39, 38.6. So another maybe perhaps 1 degree is our minimum. So I'm going to slow it down just slightly. Too hot, let me know. $39, $40, $38.8, $40. Okay, run away. Measure. So we've still got another 80 seconds left. 39, 39, 40, 40. So we've definitely hit the clinical endpoint. Now it's maintaining that. And measure. We always are measuring to make sure we're not going over that 42. So 41, 39, 39, 40. Perfect. And we've got 55 seconds left. And measure. 39, 41, 39, 41. Keep going. 41, 38. So we've dropped a little bit there. It's 38.8. So probably go a little bit slower there. 41. Okay, and our time's up. So we've got our end point, which is 39, and I reached some places was 41.2, so that was well done. And as you saw, Lisa didn't jump at all. With that gel, it prevents the zapping feeling that your clients will get. As you can see, there's a little bit of redness. Some clients will be more red than that, more erythemic. That's not a problem, and there's no reason to actually worry about that. If you zoom in, you can see how close I actually got to Lisa's eye. So you can get very close up to the crow's feet, and you can see the motion that I was actually, or the path that I was taking around the eye area. So these are bubbles, see, with no overlapping on the same area in the same instance. So we'll take that off. You can take off the gel and reuse it. To perform the treatment on the other side. Okay, so in this instance, we're going to pretend that our person is quite a warm person, they're going through menopause perhaps, or they're just a warm, temperatured person. We're going to start them on 3, whereas Lisa, she was quite cool, and our air conditioning was on, which is why we had it on 4. So if we started on 3, put your joules on 65, set your timer. Every time you do a new section, you must press and insert the timer, press play, and we're ready to go. So before we start, always take your base temperature, which is between 35 and 36 for Lisa. And we've applied the gel. So this time we're going to be performing the area on our nasolabial fold, which is this fold here. When you have a nasolabial fold, you want to be tightening the cheek area, because when we tighten the cheek area, it lifts that fold, it makes it look smoother. So I'm going to do the whole cheek. So I'm going to first do my practice run. So apply my handpiece, run it through, make sure I've got good contact, and it's almost like a triangle that I'm performing. Now at times, I'm going to go in the middle just to heat that middle section up and give Lisa a bit of a break on the outside. So my action will be like so, and then in the middle, and then the outside, and in the middle. Okay, are you ready, Lisa? Okay, so pressing the button so you can see what I'm doing, and glide, and then press my button. 1, 2, 3. How's that feeling?
Lovely.
Okay, is it getting warm?
It's warm, but it's not hot.
Okay, so measure. You want to measure after a few rounds, because if it's not getting hot at all, we're going to turn it up. So we're still on 36. 36, 37. So that's a minor change. So what I'm going to do on my screen, I'm going to increase my joules by 10. So press stop, increase by 10. And play, and do it again. 1, 2, 3. Measure up. 37, 38. That's not a great change, so let's increase by 10 again. So to get the temperature up, I can go slow, but never go slow as soon as you change the jewels. Let's measure. 39. So we've finally reached 39. Now you need to maintain that. But if my client is tolerating 39, why not bring it up to 40 or 41 with a maximum of 42? So let's go again. If it gets too hot, let me know. A little bit of erythema present. Stop. 40, 41, 42, 40. Fantastic. So keep that going. We've got 113 seconds to go. And I'm going to keep my settings like that. Don't slow down because we've reached our critical endpoint. What I noticed is there's a lot of erythema there, so I'm just going to avoid that area for a few passes to allow it to cool down. 41, 41, 42, 41. Okay, split the final measurement. So at 42, 41, 40, 42. Well done, Lisa. That concludes the treatment for our nasolabial and cheek area. Next, we will focus on our jowl. Okay, so now we'll be addressing the jaw, lower jaw, or the jowl area. Always remember, wherever you're getting the sagging skin, so if it's around there, we want to do that area and the area above. If it's the, say, the breast area, it's going to be just above the areola, up to where the clavicle is. So if we're wanting to tighten our stomach area, it's going to be the stomach and the area above. Always the area above. So let's start our motion, which is from down there is my practice run. And when I know I've got good contact, I can then press my button. Okay, are you ready, Lisa? We've already taken our temperature earlier. We know it's at 36 and ready. Now there's a few ways to increase my heat. It's either by slowing down my motion or increasing my joules, and if that's not enough, then increase your depth of penetration, which is the number, the blue ball. Okay, and measure. So we're up to 39 already. And we're going to continue that until we reach 42 degrees. 1, 2, 3. And so forth until we reach our clinical endpoint. So once you've turned your device on your Ultralux 4 or your Simlux, you will then go ahead and select Bipolar RF. Once you've selected that, you want to select your depth of penetration. For your body, we will select between 4 and 5, depending on the room temperature and the client's body temperature as well. Because we've got our air conditioning on, we will select 5. For our joules, we're going to select 65 to start with. 65. Then, when you're ready, you will press play. But before we do that, we need to first grid our client. Okay. Once you've gridded the area, the size of an A5, we're going to do this for 10 minutes, perform the treatment for 10 minutes. You'll need to measure and we're looking at 35 degrees. Our clinical endpoint is 42 and a maximum of 46 degrees. We then apply a thin layer of glycerine, which you can purchase at your local supermarket or chemist. So we'll apply that a little bit full. Press play. Using our large tip, make sure that's inserted in properly. We're going to first see how many circles we'll be doing and how big the circles are. Press the button and continue your motions. How's that feeling now? It's warm? So we'll keep going for a few more rounds until we can see a little bit of erythema, and then we'll measure. You need to apply sufficient pressure to have that contact with the skin, otherwise you will get grazing. It's a little bit of erythema, so let's measure. 39. We've got 40, 41, 40. So 2 more degrees at least. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Sometimes you might find it easier, especially if the skin is sagging, just for the client to hold the skin for you and stretch it. Not too much, because you still want it to be soft, so you've got good contact. How are you feeling? Fine. Okay, let's stop and measure. Finger off, take it off. And we're up to 42. 41, 42, 40. And around the peripheral, it's always going to be less, so we're at 39, 38 around the peripheral. So we've got a hot spot band there, which means I could be possibly overlapping too much, so let's try to even that out. 1, 2, 3. Are you feeling any hot spots?
No.
All right. And measure. So 42, 43, 44. We've got a 44 in the middle there, which is great. And everywhere else between 41 to 44. So we need to even that up a bit more. And again. So where it's hotter up here, I'm going to go a little bit faster, and where it's not as hot, I'm going to go slower. So fast up there where it's hotter, and slower down there. Until it evens out. That should be even now. 42, 45, 43, 43, 44. So we're above our clinical endpoint. Now keep that going. If it gets any hotter, speed it up. Or alternatively, you can turn down your jaws. So the erythema is quite even. Any hot spots? No hot spots, which is great. And we'll continue to do this for the remainder of the time. So you're looking at roughly 10 minutes. If it took you longer than say 2 minutes to heat up the area, that A5 area, you need to count from the 2 minutes. So 8 minutes of 42 degrees at a minimum, and 2 minutes to get you there. Measure. 45, 45, 46, 44, 45. Fantastic. Okay, so when we come to treat the other side, as you can see, we have a tattoo here. With radio frequency, the tattoo can disfigure or blur. So what we'll need to do is actually draw around our tattoo, and that's going to be our treatment area. Because it's less in size, you also need to reduce the treatment time. So it's, in this instance, it would be, let's take 2 minutes off, let's say 8 minutes for that particular area. When we're treating smaller areas, it's always going to be 10 minutes per A5. Half that will be 5 minutes. Half again of the A5, so a quarter of an A5, will be roughly 2.5 to 3 minutes. The smaller the area, the shorter the time frame. When we're treating arms, so this is not going to be our A5 size. We're looking at half that. We're going to draw or grid that area and we'll proceed with the treatment. So that would be our 5 minutes. To actually perform the treatment on the arms, it is a little bit tricky. So the best thing to do is to have something flat against the client's arm, whether it's a towel or your own hand, squishing the tissue up and performing the circular motions in that manner for both sides. When we're treating the upper part of the arm, you get the client to make it flat, and in that way you can treat this section, but make sure they just squash their arm so it flattens that area, and then that would be another 5 minutes. Once again, clinical endpoint is always going to be 42 degrees, and as you can see, that erythema is starting to reduce and will continue to reduce for the next hour or to 2 hours.